Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and I'll be talking about a Xenophase Blade Bulwark build for Space Marine 2 patch 12 on the Techmarine update. Now, the Xenophase Blade actually got a 10% damage buff this patch, and I'm pretty happy to see that because all of the other balance options also got a damage buff this patch, and if this one got left behind, that would have kind of sucked because it was in danger of falling off. Now, for the perk tree on this, I do take the perk Armored Strength first, like usual. If you have armor remaining, melee damage increases by 10%. Moving here into the perk Master of Offense. After you switch your sword combat style, you will deal 20% more melee damage for 5 seconds, cooldown is 10 seconds. I still think this one is by far the best option, mainly because you will be able to get this damage buff into at least one Power Rake, and Power Rake is like kind of the whole thing with the Xenophase Blade and the Power Sword in general. And on the Xenophase Blade in particular, you do have the heroic perk effect down here, Ancient Technology. Power Rake waves are wider and deal 20% more damage. Now, the way this one works is that, number one, you have a better angle on your actual Power Rake. This allows you to hit things like Zoanthropes and Neurothropes far more easily, and things like Enlightened Zangors with your Power Rake, so really good for that. And the damage here is also quite nice. And having another damage bonus on top of that with the Master of Offense perk is quite good. Next perk here, Perpetual Strength, and Perpetual Strength for a 10% melee damage buff. Then I grab the perk here, Tranquility, into the perk Melee Onslaught for another 10% damage buff. Then we pick up Hard Target into the perk Cutting Edge. Power Rake deals 50% more melee damage. Now, I've talked about this perk a lot. This is just the best damage perk on the Power Sword tree in general. Reeling Blow Up here is like not god-awful. This one is just far better because the damage here is pretty nuts. Next perk is Extremis Slayer up here into Majora Slayer. Then I grab the perk here, Terminus Slayer, for like kind of a catch-all on the harder enemies. And the final perk is up to you once again with Power Restoration or Speed Restoration. Both of these will double your CHP recovery for the respective stance, and that is up to you. So hopefully this gave you an idea of how you want to set up your Power Sword. You could go down the top tree if you wanted to with like Momentum Gain and Skilled Restoration, but this perk is far better in like a fencing option or a balanced option with like a faster speed like 7, because we only have a 3+ speed here on this one. So I think the bottom tree is far better for that because you're not really getting the full benefit of perks like this. That's pretty much all I have to say about the Power Sword. Now, for my secondary selection, I do take the Rate of Fire Plasma Pistol, mainly because I am playing a Cowled Wardens, which is a Dark Angel successor, and they do love their plasma weaponry, and also it's just one of the best secondaries in the game currently. Now, the Rate of Fire stat here will buff up the charge speed of your weapon, which is like the main reason you take this, because with faster charge speed, you have better damage, faster stagger, and faster CHP recovery, and that's really all you want from this weapon. Now, for the perk tree, I do build all ammo with things like Plasma Collection and Efficient Charge because this gun is very ammo hungry. So taking these extra ammo perks helps out a lot. And you can also pick up things like Perpetual Velocity here for even faster charge rate on top of that, and Blast Radius. So I really do think this is currently the best option to build your Plasma Pistol, and the bottom tree is just not ammo efficient enough, especially on a class that only has a secondary to be worth taking. Now, if you want to take the heavy bolt pistol, you can. I would set it up this way, but I'm taking plasma today, and that's pretty much all I have to say about the secondary option. Now, for the Bulwark perk tree, I still take the perk here, Intimidating Aura first. A perfect time parry deals AoE damage within a 5-meter radius. The cooldown is 5 seconds. This is still one of the best perks in all of Space Marine 2. Even on a balanced parry window, you will just get free 1-combo executes on any Majoris in the game on absolute and hard strats. Mainly because the breakpoint is just 1 parry and a gun strike on like 90% of weapons in this game for your secondary option. It really is one of the best perks in Space Marine 2. It is just free damage. I pretty much always pick this up, but I will say the perk up here, Conviction, is also quite powerful. Next perk here is Scramble Targeting. If you're surrounded by 5 or more enemies, you take 25% less damage from range attacks. This is just free range damage reduction. I prefer this one over Shock and Awe and Armor of Contempt. Shock and Awe is not terrible if you take the perk over here, Emergency Countermeasures, but I do think the range damage reduction here is better. And if you're a brand new player, Armor of Contempt can help you out a little bit, but the better you get with Bulwark, the worse this one gets. Now, the next perk here is Steel Within. When your health is less than 50%, you take 30% less health damage. Having at least this perk or Conviction, I think, is a really good option for Bulwark, mainly because your base HP is increased by 30%, so any damage reduction you have on top of that makes your effective HP go through the roof. And in Space Marine 2, anytime you drop below 25% HP, you will get a ramping damage reduction, so this will stack on top of that to make you absurdly tanky at low HP. But I do want to mention that Armor Reinforcement is also a great option because any amount of armor remaining in Space Marine 2 will reduce all incoming melee damage to 0 even from bosses, so against Tyranids especially, this perk is very powerful. It's also just good against like the Chaos guys as well with Chaos Spawn. Now, the next perk here is Focus Restoration. Every 30 seconds, all team members automatically restore 1 armor segment. This perk is just free armor for your entire team. Armor is really valuable in Space Marine 2. A lot of people think it's like paper mache, but the more you play the game, the better you get at dodging using your iframes, the more effective armor becomes. And the fact that it operates as a damage cap against attacks that could one-shot you at low HP means that a 30-second drip feed of this is incredible, especially for classes that lack armor regen overall, like Tactical. Now, the next perk here is Purity of Purpose. The banner deals damage over time to enemies with the area of effect. I talk about this perk all the time because it is just a free damage value machine. The more enemies you have around you when you plant your banner, the better this gets, and usually you are planting your banner in very dangerous situations where you are absolutely surrounded, so this will overperform all the time. It deals free damage to Minoris, Majoris, Extremis, and even bosses. The damage is quite substantial as well. It also stacks very well with the next perk we take here, which is Glory Shield. All team members within the banner's area of effect take 20% less damage, and the banner lasts 20% longer. I love this perk. I think this one is way more fun to use than the one up here and the healing perk down here, mainly because this just gives you more banners because you don't have a cooldown increase, and on top of that, your banners last longer, so you get more value out of things like Purity of Purpose, and it's just a really fun perk to use. It feels really good to put this around your teammates, and damage reduction I think is a more fun effect than like blatant healing. Next perk here is Merciless Resolve. After a Shield Bash, Shield Rush, or Thunder Hammer Pommel Smash, melee damage increases by 15%, and you don't lose control of heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back. This is just a free set of no knockback on top of free damage. All you have to do to trigger this is just Shield Bash the air. You don't actually have to hit a guy at all, so just keep that in mind. And no knockback in Space Marine 2 is a very powerful effect, because the way this actually works is that any attack that would knock you over will only stagger you. Any attack that would stagger you will do nothing instead. So really great, it keeps you from being stun locked, and getting stun locked is like the #1 way to die in this game anyways. Next perk here is a Defensive Mastery. A perfect time parry or block instantly incapacitates a Majoris or Extremis level enemy. The cooldown is 90 seconds. Being able to auto-remove an Extremis in a boss fight is really a ridiculous amount of value in this game. Lictors, Raveners, Melee Terminators, these are the things that actually get you killed on top of a boss, because when they stack their melee hits properly, you do get frame traps, so getting rid of them automatically is very great for you. And I also want to say that this perk will occasionally stack with Intimidating Aura to one-shot a guy outright. That's kind of like a negative perk interaction, but they're still both worth taking together. Now, for the Prestige perk list, I do take Resilience first. Medicae Sims restore 40% more HP. Since I'm not taking the healing perk, this one is really good for us because more stim value is great, because Bulwark usually only needs like 1 or 2 stims anyways, if any. And next perk here is a must-have in my opinion, which is Overcharge. Held in charge attack damage increases by 20%. This is a multiplicative melee damage buff where other melee buffs in the game are only additive, like Merciless Resolve and Forward Momentum. It is one of the best melee perks in the entire game. It will increase the damage of your Power Rake, and Power Rake is like the whole selling point of the Xenophase blade in the first place. Now, the final 2 perks I take are Powerful Shot for a range damage increase of 20%, and Masterful Defense, because this is one of the best CDR perks in the entire game, because it reads, Ability Charge is restored by 1% for every blocked range attack. When you block a Soul Cannon Terminator using a minigun and you have Glory Shield for like a less cooldown than the Invigorating Icon perk, you'll just get a full banner back. It feels really good. It's one of the best perks in the entire game. And even though Devourers on the Tyranids are less powerful for this perk than, say, like a minigun Terminator, they will still get you CDR back, and CDR is a very powerful effect. And that's pretty much all there is for this build, guys. Xenophase blade stocks are up. Really, balance in general is up, but I have to say the Xenophase has been overperforming for me this patch. I love this weapon. I've liked it ever since it came out in patch 10, and hopefully this build guide helped you. And if you like content like this, subscribe for more. And as always, thanks for watching. Take it easy. Bye. But that might make it so fencing weapons were like a little too shitty at times. Oh, we got here. We got AP Omega. There's one over here. Oh, that more clear.
Corresponding symbol confirmed.
What's your favorite build so far on patch 12? Probably the Power Axe Dante one I'll be posting. That one is really fun. Anything with Wings of Flame right now is like incredibly fun. Assault is just so much better than it was before. We'd kill out thing for the prime sub. Ooh, and a stim. Wow. Now we're cooking. Oh, the final one's over here, right by the door. Convenient. I was gonna say Saber that loves assault this patch. Yeah, they definitely do. Feels way better now. So that's your class. Here. I took the Emboldened Sandberg on accident. That's okay. Let's take the other one. This is a nice thing with the Xenophase, is you can actually hit these guys. Sometimes. It's very clunky, but
status update from all remaining combat squads. Combat squad Heretic, redirecting along newly advised path. Combat squad Octavia reporting in. Cyclonic armament secure for now.
We'll get him eventually.
You are nearing the aftercooling. Report on his condition when you arrive.
If he stops floating away. They're a little too high up for a Xenophase, so you can hit these guys. You got 2 on them. That was cool. Alright, there we go. You gotta be under them, but like not too far. You can do from a bit of distance, but there we go. See? I can't say it's exactly smooth, but I'm gonna keep the Shock Mage for this next part, because it kind of sucks. What class do you think is in dire need of buffs? I don't know if any class is in, like, dire need of buffs, but some of them definitely feel better than others. Techmarine's knockdown is pretty awful. They need to fix that. Is a non-Wings of Flame build strong too? Yeah, I would actually say Zealous Blow is better for most players, because to get the full thing out of Wings of Flame, you have to be animation canceling, you have to be using your commitment every single time, and that's just a lot harder for newer players to do, even with increased timings. So I think like going up and down into a giant horde is easier for most people to keep track of. I mean, you can get so many free jump back charges at this point, a boss fight of Wings of Flame with all the Furious Strikes and animation canceling. It can actually be hard to keep track of some of the cooldowns.
When you reach the reactor's cooling console, disable the emergency flash shields. Emergency blast shields retracting. Warning. Coolant rods exposed. Thalassa, I need you to disable the entire cooling array. Concentrate fire on the exposed cooling rods. Aim for the exposed rod sections.
I should have saved that banner. I thought my final Xenophase was gonna get in there. Unfortunate. Got a waste my ban earlier though. Okay. The Xenophase gonna be annoying to get rid of here though. Just got the parry there. All this shit off here. Okay, well, that was the hard part done. Or the annoying part, I should say. That is convenient, you just blow it up once it opens up. But getting them open is going to be a little annoying.
Registering extreme temperature fluctuation. Plasma cooling efficacy severely reduced. Excellent, Talassa. You will need to repeat the same process at the second array. Access granted to the bridge console. Gifts from the forge.
What do you think about the new operation? It's pretty cool. I do think it gets a little boring after, like, you complete it a couple times, but that's mainly because it's, like, mostly set piece.
sensation, but the Imperium dominates.
I definitely feel like a Majora's got up this patch. There were a lot. Nah, I would like a grenade for this because it's kind of annoying. No, actually, that was way easier than I thought it'd be. Okay. Never mind, I take it back. Which of the heroic melee weapons would you say is better for tactical? Somebody has two of the heroics. Try to see what to get next. Power Gladius is probably the best for him of all the heroic options. Mainly because it lets him one-shot bosses, which is pretty damn good.
Proceed to the decks below and force the plasma reactors to overheat. Updating output to the plasma reactor. Have you received word from our brother in Combat Squad Heraton? His approach vector should have taken him through the technical underbelly. Negative.
I don't mind more Majora spawns, but I think they need to make it where ranged enemies can't spawn on top of ranged enemies. Yeah, having like an armada of Devourers is pretty annoying. That is pretty annoying.
This is ill-advised, Talassa. If you do not break the reactor to detonate, the cyclonic warheads will be wasted. Combat Squad Octavio will return.
How are your tonsils, FTG? They're surviving.
Away from your position instead. The Xenos curse, fire and fury, Octavio.
To have the Xenophase blade get buffed, 10% base damage, which is actually pretty substantial. Base damage buffs go pretty far in this game. How do you choose between Power Rake and Power Roll when fighting a Horde of Gons? I don't know. It depends when... Whichever one won't get me killed. Or I have time for, I guess. Power Roll can be better. It depends on where they are. And where they are.
Avenging Smoke detonations right. Tomasa, we have lost contact with Heraton leader, and Octavio is pinned down. You must destabilize the plasma reactor. Our brothers from Phaedrus and Heraton shall not have died in vain. Tomasa taking up position at the reactor.
Let's see what else we got. We don't have to do the objective here because we did the one earlier with the symbol match.
This work crew was made up of servitors.
What's the general consensus on the worst map in the game? Probably Reliquary. Oh, that or Obelisk. One of the two. Did grinding get any better lately? Well, there's a 20% XP boost buff going on right now. So kinda.
Prepare for heavy resistance, brothers.
Is the Balanced Thunderhammer good with the new Dash Assault? Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, the base damage is nice. I'd say it's really good for like ground pound builds. What I like it for. Alright, so kill some Tyranids trying. Not the... I would hate using a balance window against these guys. Alright, well, that was a waste. Oh, maybe not. We had some value out of it.
Another alien form of the Imperium's key. Prepare for contact.
That's the downside of our defensive mastery is outright killing that guy so we can execute him. Dude. These guys up there. There's just no way to get that guy open unless he decides to attack. Beautiful. Love to see it. Can you blacklist match with a random pool? No, you can't. If you could, you just like quick match and only the ones you want, pretty much.
Prepare for contact.
That's nice.
The remaining prime appears invigorated now that it is cornered. The living prime seeks revenge on us.
Oh my god, the fucking balance window against these guys is so obnoxious. Oh, that's work. These guys in particular.
Here it comes.
Oh, thanks. Alright, well. It's over. What chapter are you rocking? Raquel Wardens.
Our brothers are avenged. Now, engage the console to cripple the reactor. And Talassa, when those magnetic stabilizers stop, prepare for rapid egress. Be advised. The gyroscopic containment shielding prevents catastrophic plasma dispersal. Plasma cores are now exposed. Caution advised. Reactor critical, Talassa. Disengage. We are losing time. Talassa, we're tracking your signatures. Octavio and Heriton Leader are already on board. Our brothers prevailed. Core integrity at 50% functionality.
That's why I shouldn't want to blow up. Yeah, there we go.
We're almost there. Hurry. The cruiser has begun breaking apart. We will wait as long as we can. Reactor overheating. 10% of core integrity detonates. Raise. If not for your valor, Talassa.
Alright, that's it. That's the Xenophase Blade Bulwark build in patch 12. It was way better than before. Much improved.